Hey guys, so I'm making Irish soda bread, but it's my version with the same ingredients, except I'm adding semi-sweet chocolate chips and about a teaspoon of flour, just so that my chocolate chips don't sink to the bottom of the dough. So I've already got here in my blender my 4 cups of flour, unbleached flour. Then I'm adding a teaspoon of baking soda. This is going to be my leavening. We're going to mix this up here just a little bit. And then we're going to add 4 tablespoons of butter. And I'm using unsalted butter. So we're going to count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's about half. All right, this is like so good. Like, it's gonna come out amazing. I have never done it this way, but my kids, some of them are fuzzy about raisins. I do love, the last time I made it, golden and just regular raisins are good for this recipe. But my kids were like, hey mom, why don't you do it with chocolate chips? So I decided to spike it up a bit. So I am doing it. I'm adding more, instead of like a savory type of loaf, it's gonna have a little sweetness. I put some vanilla, an egg. I had no buttermilk, so I did a mixture of yogurt, plain yogurt, to plain Greek yogurt, to just half and half, but you can use whatever you have. If you have almond milk, you can use almond milk or whatnot. So now I've already got in here the four little squares of butter that I diced in there. So now I'm just going to incorporate it into my flour, making sure that it turns, once I start seeing like pebbles, like pea-sized clumps in the flour with the butter, then I'm going to dump in the mixture that I did. So I have pure vanilla extract. I added, like I said, plain Greek yogurt to half and half, about a cup of half and half. So that's what's in here. And then I got in a bowl my semi-sweet chocolate chips with just a little bit of flour because I don't want it to sink to the bottom. So my dough is getting to that point right now. So I'm slowly going to add my buttermilk. And this has honey in it as a sweetener. So we'll see how this turns out. And it's a wet, sticky dough, so don't be afraid if your dough gets, at this point, sticky. Then I'm just going to add my chocolate chips in, which I probably should have done before buttermilk, but that's fine. And that's it. Once it's all combined, it's done. So you can see it's nice and thick and sticky, and that's okay. So now I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna have this loaf, and I'm gonna put it in just a regular ceramic bowl here, okay? Which I wanna grease just a little bit with a little bit of the softened butter. It's gonna give it a nice crust. It will also help it from sticking. But you can use parchment paper if you like. And now I'm gonna party flour my hands just a tiny bit before I deal with this dough here. I don't wanna mix it too much because it'll get tough. So I don't wanna mix it too much, but just enough. And it has no yeast in it. It's super quick and easy to make. And my kids love it. And it's actually almost, my oldest son, he calls it like a cake because it tastes just like a cake. So imagine with this, with these chocolate chips are gonna be amazing. But of course you can use raisins, currants, whatever you like. And you're gonna see how pretty this dough is. As soon as I get it out of here, it's gonna be a nice ball of goodness. I think I'm gonna get it off my mixer so I can work it and show y'all what this looks like. And some of my chocolate chips are coming out, and that's fine. And the reason that is because I added at the end the chocolate chips. You can add it with the flour before you add the buttermilk. Yeah, that would probably be the best thing. So I'm gonna dump this on here. So easy. And I still have a little bit of flour in here. All right, so I'm gonna work it just a little bit, not too much because the heat on my hands may melt the butter. That's already here, but as you can see, it's a nice sticky dough, almost like a cookie dough, I would say. And this is a very forgiving bread. Like, you don't have to be a baker or none of that to make this kind of bread. So again, it's the same as a Irish soda bread, same recipe. I just tweaked it a little bit and added a little bit of sweetness. So it's probably gonna be like a panettone. So at this point, if it gets a little soft from the warmth of my hands, I can always put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes before I bake it, and it's good to go. So if you don't have a lot of time, this is a great recipe for you moms if you have to get ready to go to work. This is why I do this, because I work nights. So this works out perfectly for me. Yes. Just kind of pinch out any of the broken pieces. I'm gonna actually wet my hands just a little bit because my dough's a little dry now that I added the flour. So I'm just gonna add a little moisture back in. That's it. But I don't want any cracks in my dough because then it'll crack, and I want it to be a nice little circle, little ball. And I'm not going to make any, I'm not going to score it at all either. I'm just going to let it do its thing. All right. Okay, just pinching it in. Oops. Just a wee bit of flour, a little more. All right, and there you have it. So that is what's gonna look like when you put it in the oven. You're gonna bake it at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes. You can add a little more heat and then less time, that'd be great. But this is gonna come out amazing, so stay tuned.